All right, so we've generated 342 positive responses and an estimate of $1.98 million in qualified sales pipeline in the last 72 hours for one client across three different offers. And in this quick video, I'll try to explain everything about our process, what we are doing to get these types of results, how key, how important the outbound offer is, how important it is to have the right offer, and what, in my opinion, makes a great offer for cold outbound that you can leverage to get these results. So let's start from infrastructure. We're obviously using ScaleMail as part of Beanstalk Consulting. And so ScaleMail handles everything for you as far as the infrastructure setup. So you don't have to like create inboxes manually on your own, set up domains, set up DNS records, do the MX records, the forwarding, or handle deliverability on your own, right? ScaleMail handles everything for you. So allows you to set up weekly placement tests, weekly inbox placement tests across all of your domains to continuously monitor your inbox and your inbox reputation, essentially. So we have real-time deliverability monitoring. We have this KML team that handles everything about infrastructure, which is amazing. We obviously are using several hundred domains and thousands of inboxes to be able to run this high volume strategy for this client. So account rotation, super key here. We do a 2x strategy. So we have like twice as many inboxes and as many domains to be able to run campaigns for this client, which means that every 3 weeks we rotate those batches. We have two different batches of inboxes. Every 3 weeks we rotate them so that we always have infrastructure in good health that we can use in active campaigns, and then their other batch, the other infrastructure, stays in warm up for 3 weeks. Basically, restores deliverability. So when it comes to copywriting, always try to keep it as simple as possible, as specific as possible, but also as simple and as easy to understand as possible. Right? We do use AI written sequences, but we do not use any LinkedIn scraping or any hyper personalization based on signals or based on LinkedIn posts, right? Like the personalized lines, such as so you went to XYZ college, or I saw your last LinkedIn post about XYZ. That is dead, and we do not use it. So as far as personalization, we use AI written variables. So we're talking about like very few words in one variable, one cold email variable that you can set in your sequencer and basically say, hey, so you're in XYZ niche. Now, we don't say that, but that's just one example, right? The XYZ niche in that case will be your personalization, and that's your variable that you can create with AI in clay.com, right? That's clay.com is a tool that we use to build all of our lists, and it allows us to use AI at scale to create these personalized variables. In my experience, creating personalized emails, like having AI create an entire email, is very tough, right? Because you have a lot of variability, and it's very easy for the AI to mess up everything and basically go off rails when it comes to messaging, right? So unless you give it like extremely strict guardrails and output requirements, in my opinion, it's just been very tough to write an entire email with AI. And a lot of the time it's also not necessary, because what you're trying to do with AI personalization is two things realistically. You want to make the email more personalized, so that's going to work better from a positive reply standpoint. So we're going to get more positive responses and more engagement. And then two, you want to add variability so that all of your emails do not sound the exact same. Google basically will not see that you're sending the same exact script, right? That's in essence, that's what you're trying to do with AI personalization. So it really is not necessary to create an entire email with AI. You can 100% create a lot of personalization and a lot of variability by just having AI written variables and not the entire email script. So as far as data quality, we use AI Arc for contact enrichment, company finding, lookalike searches as well. We're very happy with AI Arc because they refresh their data every 30 days. It's just the best B2B lead database out there, in my opinion, right now. So waterfall enrichment, we use a series of trusted providers. Lead Magic, we use Prospia, we use ICPs, and then Lead Magic as well for validation, as well as Bouncepen for cache validation. So we run all of this in Clay realistically. So the only thing that we run outside of Clay is when pulling the lists from AI Arc. That's what we run on the platform itself. And then we put everything in Clay, and we basically run an entire workflow there, right? And when you're sending so many emails, because this is for this client specifically, we're running a very high volume strategy. We were running tens of thousands of emails every single day. Data quality is everything. A small percentage of your contacts that's irrelevant, you're going to burn your infrastructure, because if you have like bad data, that's outdated. You're probably going to reach the wrong people. If you reach the wrong people, you probably are not going to get very good reply rates. You're probably not going to get many more spam complaints than if you had good data. And the more spam complaints you get, the more you damage your infrastructure, your email infrastructure. Therefore, the more frequently you have to replace email infrastructure. And it's just a very expensive game that you do not want to play, right? So data quality is everything. And that's just kind of what we use for that. When it comes to cost optimization, we use RevOps as our central database. We have over 4 million contacts that we've enriched over the last 3 or so months. We check the RevOps database every single time for every single list, both at the company level and at the contact level. And that's to make sure that we haven't enriched the same contact with the same company already. And if we have, we're going to use the same data. We're going to verify it, obviously, but we're going to use the same data because we already had enriched that data. We're still going to verify and make sure the contact works as the same company. So that's saving thousands of dollars a month in clay credits, enrichment costs, workflow expenses, and just in lead enrichment overall, right? So that's great. We've been starting to use OpenRouter a little bit more for AI enrichment instead of OpenAI directly, and we've been seeing significant savings as well there. And overall, we have a 22-point SOP that's in Notion that our GTM engineers always follow to make sure that we reduce enrichment costs as much as possible, and we run operations in a pretty lean way, and we don't waste money on enrichment and list building expenses, right? Systematic list building, we have a 7-table workbook template in Clay that we run for every single campaign, and our GTM engineers can simply duplicate the table or the template in this case, apply the changes that are specific to that client, specific to that campaign that they're running, and then launch the campaign, right? So that allows the team to turn around lists pretty quickly. So in literally hours, you can literally just turn around the list in 15 minutes with this workbook template. If it's larger, it's going to take a little bit longer, and you don't have to literally recreate the entire thing, the entire workbook template or entire table every single time for every new campaign, right? So we're able to send tens of thousands of emails every single day, and we're able to get hundreds of positive replies every single day without a huge SDR team or a big, team of GTM engineers, because we have most of the list building process systematized and automated. Now, when it comes to the math, I'm going to show you the results that we've gotten for this client over the last 72 hours, really. And I can show you all the stats. This is just one example. This is the last 10 days for this one client. If we do last 3 days, it's going to show about 139 leads, which is not too bad. Given these results and given these contacted volumes and these email volumes, the positive reply rate is not too bad. I wouldn't say it's excellent, but this scale, this is actually pretty decent. And I can show you as well the other screenshots for the other workspaces. This is obviously the one. This is one that I showed you right now. This is another one, another of these offers. Again, same client that we are running on +5 instead. The previous one was Email Bison. As far as the sequencer, again, last 3 days, 101 leads, 46% positive reply rate. And this is another one, again, same client, very similar offer, not the same, but very similar. And we just decided to split them up into 3 different workspaces to keep things separate. So we've gone, a little bit lower positive reply rate here, but higher reply rate. So 103 leads in the last 3 days as well. Not too bad. So when it comes to the math, so we've gotten 342 positive responses in the last 72 hours overall. Historically, 20% of them convert to booked calls, booked meetings. And if we add warm calling or cold calling on positive responses on top of that, that number usually gets 30%, right? Now, we're not doing this for this client specifically, but we are seeing some instances for ourselves specifically where running warm calling on top of the email inbox management gets our, Beanstalk conversion rates from positive responses to book meetings in the range of 50 to 75%, right? So it's pretty solid. Overall, 20% conversion rate from positive responses to book calls is nothing amazing. I think we can improve it, but that's kind of what it is. So overall, historically, that would have led to a 68 book calls. I don't know exact numbers for the last 72 hours, also because a lot of the bookings are going to happen in the next few days, the next week as well, from these 300 plus positive responses. But historically, we have a 20% conversion rate. About 80% show up rate for this client specifically, which brings us to 55 attended meetings. 60% on average qualify as SQLs. So we have 32 to 33 SQLs. Conservative LTV estimate $60,000 per customer in LTV. I don't know exact numbers, it's just an estimate. It could just be much higher. This is a very high ticket offer, very high ticket retainer, monthly retainer with 6 to 12 month contracts. So I have to assume it's actually much higher than that. That's a pretty conservative LTV estimate. So if you do the math, 33 SQLs for $60,000 LTV, that's almost $2 million in qualified sales pipeline generated in just the last 72 hours. So it's kind of the math there. And when it comes to monitoring and performance tracking, we use RevOps again, which is also the tool that we use for our central database for tracking literally everything, right? So every single campaign, every single domain, every single inbox, deliverability for all of these domains and all of these inboxes, we keep track of that in RevOps, and especially campaign performance, right? Variables in campaigns, specific offers, specific scripts, specific job titles. We're able to see, okay, which are the job titles using thanks to RevOps. We're able to see which job titles responded the best and had the highest positive response rate across all of our campaigns, right? Which industries got the highest positive response rates, right? And that allows us to have like very insightful data about performance and about campaigns, and we're able to just improve based on that. And just RevOps, makes it very simple for us to do so. So in terms of reply management or inbox management, currently Inbox Manager responds within 15 minutes to every single positive response, which is pretty standard. And then we're trying to increase that, or we're trying to decrease that, the response time, to 3 minutes, right? The way we're going to do it is we are working on a AI inbox management system that's going to auto draft responses, propose calendar times and invites, handle objections and all the questions from prospects, and it will basically automate 80 to 90% of the manual work when it comes to inbox management, right? Still in the works, it's 80%, 90% completed. It's already drafting up responses. I'm pretty confident about that. And that's going to, as soon as we deploy it, it's going to, decrease the speed to lead to, roughly 3 to 5 minutes per response, because it's, then it's just about clicking one button and the response will be sent. That's already been drafted by AI. Why this works overall, wanted to do a quick slide on this. I think, look, we have to give a lot of credit to the offers. Offers get most of the results. Like, if you have a good offer, you're like already 70, 80% there. But obviously you need an entire system. So you need good infrastructure, you need monitoring of everything, deliverability, performance, stats, campaigns, you need clean, high quality data, you need cost optimization, because running, tens of thousands of emails per day can be pretty expensive if you don't have the right SOPs, if you don't have the right systems. Clear positioning, I think simple positioning in the scripts is very key, making the offer sound as easy as possible to understand. Fast reply management within 5 minutes, within 15 minutes. Systematic list building, so you don't have to spend days just building lists every single week. And you need just all of it, right? Otherwise, your system might work, you might get some positive response and get some results, but it will not be that efficient, right? If you have bad deliverability, you're not going to get to the inbox. If you have bad low quality data, you're not going to reach the right people, you're going to get spam complaints, you're going to damage the inbox. If you don't have clear positioning, nobody will understand what the offer is about. If you don't have fast reply management, you're not going to book any meetings from positive responses, or very, very low conversion rate, and all of these things, right? Or you're going to spend, if you don't have cost optimization, you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars every single month in tech expenses, list building expenses, in AI, and all of that stuff. So you really need all of it. Scale works when the offer is right, it works for outbound, and the execution is flawless. So that being said, I'll close this here. If you have any questions on this process, feel free to let me know. If you need any help with outbound prospecting, feel free to DM me, and I would be happy to have a chat with you and see how we can help.